Prophet Prince Michael Israel, as I am making my first appearance after a great journey of spirituality into the prophetic and into the deep things of the Lord. The revelations publicly revealed, and the revelations that have been concealed, and the revelations that are still to come. Some of these revelations, they are instilled in the values of time and what time holds both now and in the future. So as I promised that I would come to address the political matter as we are heading towards the elections, as we are heading towards the presidential elections and all the elections across the nation, even the mayor elections, members of parliament elections, council elections. So all the elections that the nation is undergoing in this season. So as a prophet, it is a great honor and privilege to speak in the name of the Lord and to also host the prophetic as a son of the soil and as the son of the land of Zambia, the nation of Zambia. And it is with great honor and privilege to speak to the general public, to address the matters that are affecting the nation positively and negatively in the sectors of values, development, economically, and religious affairs. And I speak not as one who is privileged among those that the Lord is using, but I stand as a vessel yielded to the voice of obedience, to the word of the Lord and the will of God. And I speak not as a political partisan. I speak as a beneficiary of what the word of God and the vision of God for the nation. The vision of God, it is something that is extended both in the Christian corridors and beyond the Christian corridors. I do not speak as a political partisan, but I speak as a prophet of God, the carrier of the covenant of God and the will of the Lord, the word of the Lord, and to speak only in the name of the Lord and to support what the Lord has instilled upon time through the leadership of every government. I speak not as a supporter, but I speak as a covenant bearer, both in the nation and the nations at the global stage. So it is my great privilege to address this prophetic matter. As I spoke in the months before, I spoke about events that are unfolding, events that are yet to unfold, events that are attached to the future of this nation and the generations to come. I spoke about matters that have impacted the nation in a certain way according to the vision of the Lord that He had put upon me. Speaking in the name of the Lord, it requires a great impact of the vision, and the vision that is extended not only to the Christian community, but to the beneficial of what the nation holds ahead and the future generations to come. So as I speak, I do not speak as a supporter of any political party, but I speak as a servant of the Lord and the vision carrier, the covenant bearer of the word of the Lord that has sat upon my shoulders for many months and years. As I continue interceding for the nation and I continue interceding for the great leadership of this nation, it is also a great privilege to speak in the name of the Lord concerning the development and the direction of all the effects that are surrounding the nation's values, policies, and development. So, as I speak this message, I pray that it may reach the public in a way that it will be a blessing and it will cause and impact a vision of change that can never be disputed by the hands of time. This revelation, it changes not. This revelation remains the same, and this revelation, it talks about the events that have happened and the events to come. And these events, they are inside the corridors and the counsel of the prophetic, what the will of God is and the policies of the government of God upon the land of men. So I spoke a year ago and years before I have spoken concerning the matters that are happening right now as a nation, politically, religiously, and economically. I spoke about the endorsements. I spoke about the divisions in the political parties. I spoke about the separations in the political parties. And I also said concerning what is happening in the nation of Zambia. I prophesied what is happening now and what is to come in the next 5 years. I spoke about the betrayals. I spoke about the appointments. I spoke about the divisions that are currently cohesively taking place in the land of Zambia, our great nation. And as I see in the spirit, and I still stand upon this word, it is the word that still speaks of the volumes of what God has already declared. As I still see all the presidential candidates, including our great president of the nation, who is standing for another term, I spoke about the crushing of the opponents, and I spoke about the vision of how the Lord will use him to crush the opponents, to level the traditional systems that have been controlling the nations for a long time. I spoke about the mountains of traditional setups that were in the covenant with the leadership before, the leaderships before now, and the leaderships that have been there. These mountains, they have been controlling for years, and I saw and I spoke in my previous prophecies. I spoke about how the Lord was going to use him to level these mountains, and it is happening in a way that many people may not understand, but it is the heritage of the nation that God has visited the foundations. And when God wants to do something, he uses the kings of the earth to establish that will. We have seen throughout the Bible, God using the king Cyrus, God using the kings to subdue nations, to bring about the nation, to bring about the will of change, the will of restoration, and also the will that is beneficial both to the will of the Lord, nation, the heritage, the land of the people. So I still stand upon this word, and I still see the presidential vehicle moving at the highest speed in the highway. And as I saw other vehicles, they tried to overtake this presidential vehicle, but they were unable to catch up with the speed at which this vehicle was moving. It was a speed that cohesively provoked a reaction, both positively and negatively, but I saw this vehicle remained untouched, remained undefeated, remained strong, and remained moving firmly until the assignment was done. So in this season, I don't see any vehicle overtaking this presidential vehicle, because it is strongly instilled in the hands of time, and God's vision and God's power is surrounding this vehicle. Whenever God wanted to humble the children of Israel, God sent the kings. So God will never use the church alone to bring about his will, but he brings about nations and the councils of kings to liberate his will upon his people. We have seen God using King Solomon. We have seen God using King David. We have seen God using the kings in the Bible to bring about change. We have seen God using Pharaoh during the times of the great famine and the great hunger that struck the land and the lands of the earth. And we see in the scriptures God using Joseph coming in alliance, God's will and the will of man coming together to form an alliance that provoked a certain change upon the land. So you cannot exclude the kings whenever God is doing something remarkably to do with revival. Kings, they take part in the equation of revival, in the structures and the hands, the voices of revival. Kings can never be excluded. Kings, they are part of that structure of God. This is the address that I had to say that God is still with the presidential vehicle, remain unchanged. It is still unchanged. And I also want to speak about the candidates that are running for the mayor elections. I saw the elections were very tight, but I saw the emerging winner, and I saw what is to come, and everything is in the hands of the great nation and the vision of the Lord. And there will be betrayals in the coming years. There will be conspiracies that will emerge in the hidden camps, the secret societies built around the cottages of what has been invested in the hands of governance. I see groups emerging, political groups emerging secretly, and I see betrayals happening and taking place in the corridors of the council, of the governance of the nation. And I see dissolving of many leaders and many aspiring candidates in the political arenas, the members of parliament, those who are standing now. A lot of them, they need to be prayerful, because I see there is a wind and the wave that will begin to sweep, and this wave, it will dissolve some, it will disqualify a lot of people, and a lot of people will be swallowed by the seats that they are contesting for. Some will be elected into their offices, but some will be, it will be very difficult for them to rise. It will be very difficult for them to rise and implement the power of change. So I see a lot of oppositions, and I see a lot of alliances joining hands with the presidential vehicle, and I saw development in a lot of territories, cities that have been forgotten, cities that have been abandoned. I saw a massive wind of restoration moving across those cities that have been desolate for so many years. I saw restoration, and I saw the fertility of the land of Chongwe. I saw God visiting the land of Chongwe, the city and the town of Chongwe. I saw infrastructure, industry, and the cultural sectors rising in that territory, in that land. I see investors rising in that land, and I saw it rising as a beautiful city that many will fail to understand in the coming years, because I saw development in that land, infrastructure coming in place, investors coming in place, the agricultural turnaround. It will be something that will be mind-blowing for every eyesight. This is the land of Chongwe. The Lord is showing me, say that if unity prevails in the land of Zambia, there will be development that will be a global chain and impact that will attract investors from all corners of the earth. So our duty and my duty as a prophet, it is to lead, not by who I am attached to emotionally, but is to lead by what the will of the Lord is saying and what the voice of God is all about, and the obedience to the word of the Lord. So we are praying for the nation, and I'm praying for the nation, and I see a lot of emerging voices arising politically, in the Christian community, and in all sectors of the nations. And I also saw Bishop. I do not follow this bishop. The hand of the Lord was upon him, and he was acquitted of all the charges. The Lord showed me, because of the works that he has done, and because of the great masses that follow him, and the great masses that believe in him and his ministry, the communities. And the Lord, I saw the hand of the Lord was upon him in this season. I saw him rejoicing, and this rejoicing, it was all about being acquitted of all the charges that were imposed upon him. And I saw another one. This is George Mutonga. I saw this man. God was raising him in the corridors of the will of God. God doesn't move by emotions. He moves by obedience. He moves by what is beneficial for his will, his people, and the outcry of what is surrounding the global change and development. So I saw this man. God is raising him. God was raising him, and I saw him being remembered and being recognized in this nation. So this is the prophetic address that we have been waiting for, and I am interceding and praying for the great nation of Zambia, the government and the leaders, political leaders, as they join in hands towards the elections, the general elections that are coming. Pray together as one Zambia, one nation. Together we stand for the value of peace and the value of the people and the democracy of the people. Prophet Prince Michael Israel, son of the Ra, you can enjoy.
Anointing will be wrought in you. You will be a man untouchable. A man untouchable. A man untouchable.